yoga teachers, qigong teachers, you can add this as a tool in your work to help people. So
Yes.
that's one of the main projects I'm working on, is trying to attract people to wanting to share, to learn it, use it in their life, and share it with other people, because it's such a wonderful turn of the universe. It's wanted to give us this, the source.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan. Today's episode, I get to interview Angela Long. She has a Ph.D. in biochemistry. We're going to quantum bath wave. We're going to talk about how she beat cancer. We're going to talk about money mindset and so much more. Check out this episode. Hi, Angela. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast.
Hi, Angela. I love your name.
Yes, awesome.
I want to thank you so much for inviting me to be on your wonderful podcast. I'm
Oh,
very excited to tell your audience, who I know just love you, for empowering them, that, I have a great story and a great tool and to give them, to help them in their dealings with money. So I'd love to start by telling you that I have a PhD in biochemistry. So I knew that we're made of huge quantum waves as big as the universe that bounce back and spin us a new body every moment. But people don't know that. So I really want to let them know that this is a tool that they can use to achieve everything in their life, including financial freedom, health, and a great relationship, if that's what they want. 25 years ago, I had a diagnosis of liver cancer with a month to live. And that's when I decided that I really want to use this and make tools with it of the quantum world. And this is now 25 years later, and I'm happily alive at 75. I took it to Thailand. I worked there with thousands of people from around the world on everything they brought me. And I'm happy to say I'd like to share that with your audience today, how they can use it.
stories.
Shall I
So
keep
that
going?
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
kind of gave us the background about how you got started on this journey. Glad to see that you're alive today. So the doctors were not correct, but obviously you've had some experiences along that journey. And so let's fast forward to today and talk about what it is that you're working on and how you are helping other people.
Well, what I tell them is that these quantum waves, we found out, are made of information, which I didn't like the word because we're not things, we're actually motions. So I changed the word to information and I started working with it. I've made 8 maps of information that people can use, and they're in my books so that they can go there and use it. But I had to figure out a way to use the quantum principles to change it. So the first principle was given to me by a teacher, and it was in the story called the cup story. If a person brought me a cup filled with poison and said, "Can you help me change my poison so I can drink out of my cup?" I would tell them, when in the quantum world, the first thing is you cannot throw out what's in the cup. And that's what we keep trying to do, throw things out, cut them out. But what he said you could do is pour fresh water into the cup and pour and pour and pour. And then eventually you can drink from your cup. The water you're pouring in symbolizes living our true desires, which is related to our purpose. And that's what I want everyone to know, that we have a purpose and we can read it, which I describe in my second workbook, how to do that. So what it also told me is I had to find out what kind of information. So I asked the universe, what should I use to replace my liver cancer? And I got a quote from Gandhi that said, keep your belief positive because your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values, and values become your destiny. So I took all those words and two more, because I'm Sicilian: emotions and attitudes, put them together, and I got an acronym that you'll love. It's called bath waves. And I
Mm.
said, oh, bath waves, that's an idea for a tool. Just because when you get in water, do you know how good you feel after you're in water? Well, that's the first tool. Melt the patterns that we're talking about and then replace them. So the tool's called face it and embrace it, and replace it with your grace. So that's what we do. We use our hands, all five senses, and we say, I face and I embrace that I am worrying and feeling nervous about doing this podcast. I go down to my feet and then up to my armpits, cross over, grab my neck, go down my shoulders and arms, and that melts the pattern. I feel relaxed now. But you have
Mm.
to do part two, which is the cup story, putting into your body of your life what you truly desire. So I will, and I do desire to share all of this miracle stuff with your audience, with the wonderful people listening today. And now I feel clear, I feel happy, and I'm glad that I'm here.
I would love to know, perhaps for the audience, how can we utilize this tool when it comes to our money beliefs and maybe some things that we might be blocking ourselves? How do we overcome or change that?
Well, you replace it, and I had plenty of them. I felt what money is, first of all, in the quantum world, is a sense of abundance, a sense of being cared for, of being safe, secure, and confident. So if you don't have those, you can ask yourself, do I feel abundant? Oh, I don't right now. So then I would face and embrace that I'm not feeling abundant in this moment. So I'm going down my body. You can do it with me, up to your armpits, cross over, grab your neck, go down your arms. And I'm ready to replace this. Part two, you go around your core of your body, your midline, saying, I can, I will, and I am abundant in health and wealth. And bingo, it goes in instantly because the quantum world is instant. So there are other things like self-sabotage that will get in the way of your maybe making money. And
Mhm.
so that's another one you can use the bath wave technique for. Judging yourself, coping mechanisms. And I've got 8 coping mechanism maps in my workbook. And it is if you're accusing, blaming, complaining, lying, hiding, denying, defending, or justifying. If you're doing any of those, it'll get in the way of your feeling that abundance and that security. So you can use the quantum tools to replace everything that stands in your way. I mean, I even thought that money was evil when I started, and I replaced it. Now it's a precious gift for accomplishing my purpose. And that's what I'd like to tell people. Also, you can use it with relationships. And that's another thing that can get in the way. And the way you use it is to use the what we call entanglement. Every electron, every particle that's really a spinning quantum wave is connected with other electrons, or you being connected in relationships. And so it spins. And when you know that what you're looking at, your relationship, is definitely a mirror of you. So we use that word mirror call because the mirrors call us to what we're doing and what we're we might like to replace if it isn't a relationship, say someone you're working with in a business. You can use this to make the relationship work, and then the business works if everyone's happy.
So
Does
you
that make sense?
Yes. So you mentioned a couple times now a book and a workbook. What inspired you to start on this journey to create the book and the workbook?
Well, it wasn't easy because nobody taught me to write, but I used my tools to be able to write. And I ended up talking it into Otter.ai, which is an AI tool. And so I spoke my books, which was easy for a Sicilian, and I spoke them. And then I had students who helped me to do the various tables I had to do. And so here's that second book, which is what I recommend for people because it's a day by day workbook. And if you don't like doing it that way, which is kind of a slightly slow way, you can always contact me on my website or my email. And I would love to work with anyone in your group, in your audience that might like some help, especially reading your purpose, because that's really the golden tool for having everything work for you in what we call emergent miracles.
Very
It's
nice.
really a
Angela,
gift.
what is the website where you had mentioned?
Okay, my website is just my name, angelalongo.com. And that's spelled ANGELALONGO, longo.com, no spaces. So if you go there, you'll see some videos that you might like to watch to explain more. And then you'll see a little box where you can contact me. So go there, and if you're interested in having the free 2-hour session, just say, I'd like to, I was on Angela's podcast and I'd like to have the free session. And I'll get back in touch with you and we'll set up a time on Zoom and I'll do your session. Or
Awesome.
ask me any questions you'd like on how to apply this, maybe to a problem that you have. And it's
Yes.
different for everybody. We're like precious snowflakes. We're all different. Our purpose is unique. I've read thousands of them. None of them are alike. So I just love to read it for people.
Sounds
It's
good,
it's
Angela. And again, for the audience, it was angelalongo.com, and you were offering a free session. And so I want to make sure the audience caught that as well. So it's going to be on a first come, first served basis. It's not going to be open for everybody. So make sure if you're interested that you head over to that website as soon as you hear the podcast so that you can get that free consultation with Angela.
yes. Thank you so much, Angela,
Yeah. So
for
what's
letting
next
me
for
have
you
this
in this
conversation.
journey? What do you see next in your business future?
Well, I'm working on a huge quantum academy. It's open right now. I don't have a lot of people yet. I have some teachers, and we're waiting for people. That's why I'm here, who might want to add these tools to whatever they do. And it's great for any kind of coaching, yoga teachers, qigong teachers. You can add this as a tool in your work to help people. So
Yes.
that's one of the main projects I'm working on is trying to attract people to wanting to share, to learn it, use it in their life and share it with other people because it's such a wonderful turn of the universe. It's wanted to give us this. The source, whatever you want to call it, has really been wanting to share this with us. I'm blessed to have great teachers who shared it with me. And I got a little creative and made up some tools. I'm very practical. And Sagittarius, I'm very practical and I'm a scientist. So what else can I say about that? I
Yeah,
would
so it
love.
sounds like this journey for you, when you were diagnosed, you didn't was told by a doctor that you were not going to be here any longer, but through your journey and what you've learned from your teachers and now what you're teaching others is that that doesn't necessarily have to be your story. There's ways and tools in which we can change that.
Exactly. And it's so exciting because it's always new and different. That's the secret to having miracles in your life. Be new and different, learn something new, teach, share, do something new, and you'll find your life is more rejuvenating and regenerating. And somebody's waiting to write the book, The Quantum Business Tools. So if anybody in your group is interested in applying this, teaching it to their business, and writing a book about it, I'd be glad to help them because that's a really, I think, important book to write.
Yeah, or
Don't
it
you
could be a
think?
partnership with you in the future, right?
Oh, I'm looking for lots of partners. Yes, because this academy needs that course, and I don't know as much about it as other people might. So I would probably take their course. And then we can apply the tools. It's so organic, it's dynamic. It's, other physicists are saying now that our quantum waves are the field of our consciousness and our free will. And it's huge. It's as big as the universe. It communicates with the universe, and the universe communicates with us if we're willing to learn how to do it. It speaks in pictures, not words, but pictures. So we have to learn its language. And I have a lot of that in my workbook. And if people they don't want a workbook, they want to read a story. My third book is a novel, The Quantum Love Story, for people who love stories like I do. And it's all based on true stories with teaching quantum principles as you go. And I'm still working on two more, which will have the eighth tool that's based on your DNA 64 codons, which I started learning when I was 10 years old. I was so excited
Awesome,
about it.
Angela. Well, I appreciate your sharing your story with us today and what you're working on. And a reminder to anyone who's listening to this podcast, if you go to angelalongo.com, you can get more information about how Angela is helping others, her books, and her academy as well. Angela, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Angela, for all this wonderful work you do empowering others, especially women.
Thank
We
you.
love it. When you dare to bare your heart naked, you turn your scared into sacred.
Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.